Today we're at Granite, West Haven. We're gonna unload into one of their tanks here. I've already gone up to the control room up there and asked them which tank, and I'm going into tank 4. So I pulled the hose down, I hooked it up, I've opened my dome lid, and I've checked tank 4 to make sure the load can fit. So we're ready to get started. Note that I've only hooked up the hose. I haven't done anything else over here. So on this new system, the way it works, like I said, I'm gonna go into tank 4. First, I wanna check that all of these lights are red, nothing's green. I'm gonna go to tank 4 on the tank select switch. I'm going to use the enable switch, turn that to on. That opens the valve, as you can see. Next thing is we're going to turn on the pump. Got speed control here. I'm gonna go at halfway because I have a thick product, and then I'll ramp it up if I'm able to. Last thing is we're gonna open this valve. Everything's opened up now. I'm gonna go check for suction. If I've got suction, I'll open up my trailer and start unloading. A couple things I wanted to point out while we are unloading here. I mentioned there's a speed control right here, and I've got a thicker product, so I've been slowly ramping it up. And I'm gonna ramp up until, as you can hear the pump squealing, I don't want that. So I turn it down a little bit until it's not squealing. As the pump warms up, I'll be able to turn this a little bit more and should be able to go all the way to max speed, but that's one way you can adjust your speed. Another thing I wanted to point out is, of course, you have these lights here to show your valves, but if you were wanting to know the status of them and if everything's working okay, you can check them manually. You can see on this one it says closed, closed. These other valves on the other tanks are a little different. They've got these indicators. And tank 4 we're going into is open. And then you got the same valves over on 5 and 6. So that's something you can do to verify that everything's working right if you want to. Also, they do require samples here. We keep them in this black shed. So get your can, get your marker, take a sample. When you're done, put it back in here. Keep your sample cans as clean as you can, please. So I'm all finished unloading. I wanted to show you a little tip that makes things a lot easier here. So my hose has been jumping, I'm ready to unhook, but before I do it, I'm gonna close my valve. And once my valve is closed, open my bleeder. And before I unhook, I'm gonna lift up my hose, get the hose higher than the pump, walk it out so the oil comes out now. Makes it much easier than trying to lift it up with a hose full of oil. Plus the oil's hotter now. If I do it now, it'll be easier. So I'm gonna put my phone down and do that. So I walked the hose out, I unhooked it, I hung it up. Here's the process now. We're going to close this valve. We're going to shut off the pump. Next, you need to disable the system, turn the tank selector switch to 0, re-enable the system. This will turn all the valves red to close all the valves. Let's wait a second for that to happen. Done. Disable the system. Now you might want to turn this before you are disabling the system. Don't do that. As you turn it, it wants to close and open each valve. That's why we disabled it, turned it to 0, re-enabled it, close the valves, disable it. That's the process.